This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ephraim Graham. It has been close to a year since Special Counsel Robert Mueller began investigating Russian meddling in the 2016 election. As the investigation reaches a critical stage, the president has taken on a new attorney and is preparing for the very likely possibility he will be forced to testify. Our Heather Sells is on the story.
Special Counsel Robert Mueller is warning the president that he could compel him to testify before a grand jury. But one of the president's lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, says no, Mueller's work has not been objective and he does not have the power to subpoena.
I think they lost that power. This is a completely tainted investigation.
Giuliani told Bloomberg the Trump team would be inclined to do an interview if they thought it would be fair and limited in scope. The interview could go into Trump's firing of former FBI Director James Comey. Giuliani said that if the Mueller team believes Comey is telling the truth, an interview would just be like going into a lion's den. And he said the idea that Comey is telling the truth is a joke, because in Giuliani's words, Comey hasn't told the truth in years. As for issuing a subpoena to the president, the Supreme Court has never ruled definitively on that question. And Trump has just hired Emmett Flood, a veteran lawyer, for the investigation. Flood represented former President Bill Clinton during his impeachment process and has defended former Vice President Dick Cheney. He's known for his aggressive advocacy and may take a more adversarial approach to Mueller. The president, of course, is already doing that, tweeting on Wednesday, "There was no collusion and there is no obstruction of justice." Meanwhile, a big change in the story about the president and porn star Stormy Daniels. Giuliani says the president repaid his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, for a $130,000 payment to Daniels.
He didn't know about the specifics of it, as far as I know, but he did know about the general arrangement.
It's something the president has denied.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
The bigger concern for the president right now, a Mueller investigation that's lasted close to a year with no end in sight. Former Trump campaign aide Michael Caputo told ABC News he believes Democrats are trying to draw the investigation out and hope to destroy the president, his family, and his businesses. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Here now is a look at some of the other big headlines we're following for you inside the CBN newsroom today. The two black men arrested for sitting at a Philadelphia Starbucks have settled with the city. Rashawn Nelson and Dante Robinson will receive a symbolic $1, but also a promise from city officials to set up a $200,000 program for young entrepreneurs. The men say the settlements are an effort to bring something positive out of the April 12th incident. The Boy Scouts of America announced they are renaming their flagship program. Boy Scouts will now be Scouts BSA. The group says there was a need to change the name because girls will soon be admitted into the organization. The firm at the center of Facebook's privacy controversy is declaring bankruptcy. Cambridge Analytica shut down. It comes as the firm is losing clients and facing legal fees from the Facebook case. The company acquired personal data from Facebook users during the 2016 presidential election. And you can find these and other stories throughout the day at cbnnews.com. Millions will recognize this year's National Day of Prayer across the country. It builds up to the main event taking place tonight inside the U.S. Capitol. Abigail Robertson brings us more on the leaders gathered in Washington for the decades-old tradition.
This year marks the 67th observance of the National Day of Prayer, and the theme is Unity in America, which Pastor Ronnie Floyd says could not be more fitting for this particular moment in history.
We live in a time that is so divided. Polarization is really at an all-time high. And as followers of Christ, I mean, if we're Jesus followers, we need to lead the way in doing everything we can of walking in unity together.
Floyd maintains politics will not heal us and government will not fix us, and that only a massive prayer movement can bring healing to our land.
We're calling all of America to pray for America.
Floyd will lead the prayers for unity tonight inside the Capitol, alongside leaders like Priscilla Shirer, Congressman Mark Walker, and Dr. James Dobson.
If there ever was a time when this nation needed prayer, it's now.
Pastor Frank and Sherry Pomeroy of Sutherland Springs, Texas, will be special guests at the event. They will talk about the power of prayer after a shooter walked into their church last November, killing 26 people, including their 14-year-old daughter.
Pastor Frank is going to lead us in prayer for the churches and the schools and the public settings all across America, that God would put a shield of protection around us. It will be a powerful, powerful moment.
And President Trump will again host faith leaders in the Rose Garden to recognize the day's significance.
I think he's serious about it. Some people will say it's a political ploy of some sort. I know him, and I don't believe it. I think it's in his heart.
Floyd hopes the president adds something extra, such as last year's dedication to protecting religious liberty in America.
I'm sure, knowing the president, there will be something that will forward, what will help us to go forward in our nation about those matters that most believers are concerned about in life today.
Floyd says if unity is to come in our country, it must begin with Christians crying out to God and proclaiming the gospel of Jesus. Reporting from Washington, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
And CBN's David Brody is interviewing Vice President Mike Pence today about the National Day of Prayer. Now, you can see that full interview tomorrow on the 700 Club. The legacy of Billy Graham lives in a number of ways, including his son, Franklin Graham, who's written a new book sharing lessons he's learned from his dad. Our John Jessup sat down with him to discuss the book, his take on cultural issues and division in America, even in the church.
Franklin Graham last took the stage at his father's funeral when the world listened as he proclaimed the gospel.
To God be the glory.
There was some discussion not long ago about the evangelical movement and where the evangelical movement goes now that Billy Graham is gone. You know, I don't know. I'm not an evangelical leader. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep preaching the gospel, keep giving an invitation for lost people to put their faith and trust in Christ.
Now, 2 months later, Graham shares even more about the man remembered as America's pastor in the book, Through My Father's Eyes.
You hear the question asked often, who's the next Billy Graham?
My father answered that question. He said, I've been asked who's the next Billy Graham. And there are about 8,000 evangelists out there. And my father looked at them and he put his hands out. He said, you are the next Billy Graham. All of us who preach and proclaim the gospel. I guess the question for some people, who's the next celebrity evangelist? I have no clue. And my father never wanted to be a celebrity, and maybe that's why God used him.
Franklin wants others to follow his singular focus of winning souls for Christ. He leads by example through the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and his humanitarian aid group, Samaritan's Purse. In addition to showing compassion, he also sees the need for confrontation, especially in what he calls today's anti-Christian culture. That ranges from GQ magazine mocking the Bible to a comedian's crass jokes at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I want Christians not to be seduced by this culture in which we're living and not to be led astray. And I think there needs to be a voice that speaks out, because there are not many people that speak out.
From the dysfunction to the division across America and even in the church, he sees only one key to turning things around.
We have to pray. Prayer can change. Prayer can move mountains. It can drain swamps.
Prayer, he says, became his father's main ministry in the final years, something he now says is missing.
And now that my father is gone, I feel like there's an exposure. I don't have, it's not a mantle, but it's like an armor. A little bit of that armor is missing. And so it makes me have to pray even harder. The prayer burden is shifted to me as it relates to my family. And I think my father, for the last 10 years, he was the prayer warrior in the family.
Simple yet powerful prayers from a father that changed a family and changed the world. John Jessup, CBN News, New York.
Coming up, vegetable oils and the impact they have on your health. See which ones are the best and which are the worst. Next. When it comes to what we eat, many people think vegetable oils get a green light, but as Lori Johnson shows us, a yellow light, a red light though, may be what's in line with your good health.
Most Americans need to cut way back on foods containing a natural ingredient they've probably never even heard of, but eat every day: omega-6 fats. These foods fill grocery stores, vending machines, and restaurants. Omega-6 fats are in vegetable oils, often touted as healthy alternatives to trans fats and saturated fats, but that can be misleading. The problem isn't that omega-6 fats are inherently bad for you, it's that eating too many of them can cause serious problems. Dr. Michael Roizen, chairman of the Cleveland Clinic's Wellness Institute, describes the deadly inflammation that can come from loading up on too many foods with omega-6s.
Causes your arteries to get inflamed, causes your immune system to get inflamed, and decreases your ability to fight infections, decreases your ability to find cancer cells and get rid of them before they cause cancer, and increases inflammation and atherosclerosis in your arteries. So that's the omega-6s.
Examples of foods containing omega-6 fats are peanut oil and canola oil used in home and fast food cooking, soybean, corn, safflower, and sunflower oils in thousands of processed foods, ranging from mayonnaise and salad dressing to microwave popcorn and baked goods. So how much omega-6 fat should we be eating? About the same amount as the omega-3 fat we consume. It's in fish and fish oil supplements. Our body needs both omega-6 and omega-3 in nearly equal amounts. Striking that balance is tricky. Some populations, like the Japanese, do a good job. The U.S., not so much. Most Americans eat 20 times the omega-6 fats versus omega-3s.
The ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is important. The higher the ratio, the more omega-6 or the less omega-3, the more inflammation.
So foods containing omega-6 fats we do well to push away while bumping up our omega-3 intake. To learn your exact omega-6 omega-3 ratio, ask your doctor for a fatty acid blood test. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
And still ahead, we're heading up to Studio 5 to sit down with recording artist and worship leader Phil Wickham. Recording artist Phil Wickham is best known for the tune Your Amazing Grace. That song has led to him being in a new feature film. I sat down with him to talk about that and some of his latest music.
I never dreamed anything could be better till I found you, till I found you.
This new song is called Till I Found You, and I cannot wait till people hear this song. I think it's a very fresh take on, for me, for what worship music can be and is. And I'm so excited about it.
What's the story behind this song? What happened?
Well, I started being a regular part of a church in Southern California called Harvest Christian Fellowship. Greg Laurie is the pastor, and he does these crusades around the country.
I've interviewed Greg. I love him.
Yeah, I love him too. And so a lot of these new songs were born out of wanting to add some more vocabulary and songs for that church, which was so life-giving to, instead of writing for a record, I was writing for a community.
And the full project is due out the end of summer?
Yeah, I'm pushing the label for August 3rd.
Okay.
They're saying maybe August 31st.
You gave me a name and you changed everything I am.
For you, when did you recognize the gift of music in you? What happened? How young were you? How old were you?
I was pretty young when I started playing guitar. We moved from Orange County, California, down to San Diego. And my dad's a worship leader, and so we had music and guitar and all that stuff in the house, singing, lots of singing. But I had this summer, and during this move, that I had nothing to do, and so my dad gave me an acoustic guitar and said, "Hey, Phil, I know you look pretty bored. We're sorry we're away from your friends, new school, new church, everything. But he's like, if you want to learn how to play this guitar, I'll give you this guitar." And I thought, that's cool. And really quickly, within that week, just learning chord after chord, I found I absolutely loved playing guitar. I loved singing, And my dad would give me these chord charts of worship songs. That's what we had in the house. One by one, he would teach me a chord and give me a chord chart, give me a song that had that chord in it, you know. As I was singing these songs, I specifically remember that Delirious song, I could sing of your love forever.
Yeah,
I remember singing it, playing it. It only has 4 chords the whole time, that's why I could do it. And I remember feeling the presence of God enter my little bedroom. And I just thought, I'm singing to God and he hears me. And I'm loving what I'm doing, but also I think I'm blessing his heart with this. And this is pretty special. And so I started praying to God on my own in that summer and finding Jesus in the Bible on my own. And then later that year, I was the shy kid in the back of the room with probably like a Narnia book in my hand, just like busted glasses and just the dork in the back of the room, you know. But I had a youth pastor that saw something in me and pushed me on stage literally and said, hey, everybody welcome our new worship leader.
Wow.
And I'm just like, just did so bad, you know. But I remember a few months into that, I was on stage leading that same song, I Could Sing Your Love Forever, and just something changed in the atmosphere of our youth group, and people started singing with me, and we became this, then other guys started playing guitar and became this little community of young people that led. And so back then I remember saying, as long as you want me to do this, God, I want to do it.
Now, here I am. I was 13 then, I'm 20 now, and I'm just kidding. I was 13 then, and I'm 34 now, so man, 2 decades of doing this, and I hope there's 4 more. This is such a blessing, and
you are a father yourself.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of my life. Yeah. Penelope, she's 6. Mabel is 4. Lottie, L-O-T-T-I-E, Lottie, is 3, and then Henry's our little 1-year-old boy.
How does being a dad change your relationship with your Heavenly Father?
Marriage and being a father are pretty equal in the most powerful tools God has used me to understand my relationship with Him, you know. I think as being a father, you know, I'm obviously very flawed compared to the love of God, you know. But still, in my flawed humanity, in my moments of lying in bed, and maybe you can relate, I'm like, why did I lose my patience that day? You know what I mean? I shouldn't have done that. Or, but still, there's a love that runs deeper and unlike any other love for your children. And then you become a father and you relate that to what God is saying about you. And Jesus says, like, you know, when you see Jesus, like, he's putting down these he's calling his religious leaders out. You whitewash walls, you brood of vipers, you look great on the outside, but on the inside, he's throwing down that religion that is keeping people trapped in this like religious, I've got to work. And he's like, and then when the disciples have to ask him how to pray, he's like, this is how you should pray. He's like, dear Dad, like, give me what I need for today, like, help me today, you know, like, and that the Father in heaven would look at us like that, and in being a dad and like being able to relate that, like, I would do anything for my kids, and it's definitely probably the biggest tool of understanding how God looks at me is that we have on earth, you know.
I have to ask you about a song that everyone loves to hear you sing. You singing it in a new movie coming out as well.
This is amazing race, yes it is. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross.
So I was in a room in Nashville. I was riding with a friend, and we were talking about life and what God was doing in our life and how much we need God's grace and so thankful for it. And so in about 20 minutes, we wrote the first version of this Amazing Grace. I honestly didn't think about it again. We had this little MP3, we sung it into our phones, and this MP3 was recorded that I did not even think about or listen to for 3 years. But my friend, his name's Josh, he had given it to a pastor saying, hey, I wrote a worship song with this guy, Phil. We started, I guess Josh maybe had started playing it at his church or something, and had no idea we were ever gonna put it on radio, had no idea it was gonna connect the way it did. It just was like such a picture of God using it's just saying, God is for you, you know, whatever you wanna do with it. And it was just needed to happen in the right time it took 4 years for the right people to be involved with that song, to get it to where it was supposed to be heard. So no other song I've ever put on a record has taken 4 years to write, but that one did, and I had no idea that next year, for several years, it's been the most sung song in churches, and and translated into like a bunch of other languages, and just feels like, whoa, Lord, you just use, we have no idea. God, you know, we see all through the Old Testament how God uses the most unlikely people and things to accomplish awesome stuff for His kingdom. So it's a cool testament of God's grace in that regard.
Love it.
Jesus, I sing more. Oh, how you care for me.
You'll hear that song in a film with Phil Wickham come next Easter, and this album due out at the end of summer. We'll be right back. Time now for your Thursday Thankful, and today I hope you will join me in this prayer of gratitude. Father, I thank you for the very breath you give me today. This day, I give that breath back to you and say thank you. With that word, I encourage you to make this a thankful Thursday and a wonderful rest of the week. That is a wrap for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can always find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And you can email us and let us know what you think about the stories you've seen here today at newswatch@cbn.com. And of course, you can always reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a thankful Thursday and a wonderful rest of the week. We'll see you right back here come tomorrow. Goodbye and God bless.